Have you ever wondered why one person's mere presence can instantly transform the energy of an entire room? The secret isn't loud or showy. It's the quiet, unshakable power of a calm, stoic presence that commands respect without a word. Discover the inner mastery that lets you impact every environment you enter. How Calm Presence Changes the Room. Power of Stoic Control, compiled and published by Stoic Mindfulness. Lesson 1. Stillness is the strongest signal. In the heart of a wild storm, picture a lone tree standing motionless while raging winds tear through the valley. The branches may tremble, but its roots remain steadfast, sending a silent message of endurance to the earth and sky alike. In every room you enter, every situation you face, you have the power to be that unmoving force, channeling a potent calm that shapes the world around you more than any words could hope to achieve. Yet, how often do we feel like that strong tree? More commonly, we find ourselves in the role of the scattered leaves, swept up and carried away by inner tempests of emotion, our personal sense of control surrendered to the unseen winds of anxiety, stress, and reactivity. So many of us wander through our days longing for self-mastery, while secretly feeling at the mercy of whatever enters our orbit. Someone cuts us off on the road. Irritation flares up before we even register what's happening. At work, a terse email lands in our inbox and our heartbeat quickens, mind racing with imagined slights and urgent responses. Even in moments where we intend to be silent and composed, our internal dialogue swirls and thrashes like a river during a flood. John, who wants to stay calm in meetings, finds himself mumbling, feeling dismissed, his presence barely noticed amidst the clamor. Martina, at a family gathering, wishes she could stay relaxed instead of shrinking whenever old judgments resurface. These moments are so familiar, they almost blend into the background hum of being alive, yet their impact is profound, shaping our experiences, our choices, even our sense of self. The yearning for stillness is actually a quiet wish for inner strength, the hope to remain composed, attractive, and skillfully influential in any atmosphere. But when the world around you feels loud, when your mind pings from one emotional cue to another like an unanchored boat, that stillness can feel impossible, almost mythical. This, however, is where the heart of Stoic mastery and emotional control truly lies. Not in suppressing or denying feelings, but in learning to anchor yourself so deeply within your own awareness that you become like the archer who draws his bow in a windstorm. The target is not the outer world, but the place within you that does not move. With every emotional storm, you learn to watch rather than be swept away by. With every urge to lash out or shrink that you choose, instead, to greet like passing clouds. You are training that inner discipline, like a silent fire that gives off powerful warmth without ever raging out of control. The transformative solution begins here, with this recognition. Your stillness, when cultivated, broadcasts more power than any dramatic display of emotion. When you begin seeing yourself not as a passive victim of the atmosphere, but as someone who generates their own atmosphere, a beacon of calm that anchors others, you start understanding the true impact of self-discipline. Everyone unconsciously scans the room for steady signals, just as sailors once searched the horizon for the guiding light of a lighthouse through fog. When you can become that light, quietly constant and unwavering in your presence, you draw people's trust, attention, and respect wordlessly. This kind of stillness isn't a negation or numbness. It is alive, full of restrained energy, carrying dignity. Through practice, you discover the still fire in your chest, the sense of purpose that endures, the wisdom to pause where others would frantically react, the silent but irresistible pull that makes others gravitate towards your presence. Building this skill is like learning to steer your ship by the stars rather than tossed by every wave. It is ancient wisdom, renewed every time you choose not to be ruled by your first impulse. The more you ground yourself in this kind of poised stillness, the more life begins to shift in subtle ways. Conversations move differently around you. Arguments run aground against your unyielding calm. People see you as a quiet leader. Even adversities seem less menacing when absorbed into your steady presence. Such is the gift of the Stoic, to be the quiet heart of the room, radiating strength, mystery, and a deep sense of welcome. A wordless invitation to others to join that calm and become, in time, undefeatable themselves. Keep going. Every moment that you choose to hold still, instead of fracturing, is a page added to your ongoing mastery, unlocking powers you never knew you carried. This is the first and most fundamental key to truly training your mind. Begin practicing stillness by pausing for a conscious, calming breath whenever emotions begin to stir. Then observe your thoughts rather than reacting instantly. This mindful pause trains your mind, building an irresistible calm that positively transforms each moment you face. Start right now. Make your presence felt. Next, we'll explore how calmness naturally commands unspoken authority. Don't forget to share your thoughts or questions in the comments if you're ready to extend your journey and help our community grow together. Lesson 2. Calmness creates unspoken authority. Imagine a vast lake at sunrise, the surface so smooth and perfect that the world above is reflected in flawless clarity. Birds may call and creatures may move among the reeds, but the water remains undisturbed, its presence unquestionable. In the company of other lakes, it might seem just another collection of Earth's cups, but amid the stormy splash of rivers and the cacophony of waterfalls, its stillness draws every eye. Its calm is not emptiness but power, a quiet that commands respect without ever demanding it. Beneath every powerful leader or admired figure in history lies the mysterious force of unspoken authority. It's rarely about raised voices, grand gestures, or dramatic declarations. Instead, authority often crystallizes in the quiet spaces, in the moments where nothing flashy or forced needs to happen, yet everyone feels compelled to pay attention. Yet the puzzle persists. Why do some people, with just a subtle shift of composure, draw others to them, while most drift unnoticed in the currents of distraction and noise? We've all been in situations where our influence feels invisible, our presence almost inaudible. Perhaps it's standing among colleagues during a tense meeting, where you yearn to be heard, but all you feel is the tightness in your throat, or the rush of insecurity as someone else dominates the conversation. Maybe it's in family moments, when disagreements swell and tempers fray, and you long to offer steady guidance, but instead your words come out rushed or shaky. Or worse, not at all. Even among friends, a quiet dinner might be hijacked by just one energetic voice, leaving you to submerge your insights unnoticed amid the chatter. For many, this recurring feeling isn't just frustration, but genuine doubt. A sinking notion that commanding respect must require something they lack, some trait or forcefulness out of their reach. The trap is believing that authority comes from volume, from being louder, faster, always on. The truth is less obvious, but infinitely more profound. Authentic authority is born from the kind of calmness that anchors others, from a presence so composed it resonates like a tuning fork across the chaos of the room. This is the art of quietly radiating security, of becoming the silent center others unconsciously organize themselves around. When your spirit is settled and unmoved like that morning lake, people feel it. The frantic energy of a room loses its sharp edge in your vicinity. Colleagues find themselves listening before they even realize it. Disagreements soften around your calm, like waves that smooth themselves against solid rock. The solution doesn't demand transformation overnight, nor does it rest on rare gifts. It begins with a shift of intent and attention. Every time you draw inward and steady your mind, you signal power in silence. The essence of this solution is not suppression, but selection. You become the archer, holding your arrow steady even as winds swirl around you. Instead of reacting to every noise or provocation, you gather your energy, harnessing it into a quiet confidence that requires no fanfare. When you speak, your words naturally command more respect, not because you have forced others to heed you, but because your restraint draws them in. It is the rarest kind of charisma, one that attracts by not chasing, that impacts without striving. The result, though felt rather than spoken, is undeniable. You are seen as reliable, resolute, and deeply trustworthy, a figure people look to in moments of doubt or uncertainty. Over time, this calm authority shapes how you're perceived and remembered, not just as a face in the room, but as the one people naturally turn toward. seeking a center where they too can rest their storms. With every effort to master this inner reserve, you become more undefeatable. The more you practice being calmly present, the more approachable and attractive your energy becomes, inviting collaboration instead of competition. Inner composure overtakes fear's power, unlocking a new dimension of self-esteem. It's a subtle shift, but the consequences reach far. Like the ancient wisdom of sages who shaped nations with hushed voices, your calmness speaks volumes in a restless world thirsting for someone who isn't moved by every passing wind. This living stoicism, a quiet but immense fire inside you, not only protects you from outer turmoil, but lights a way for everyone around you. Start by pausing before you respond, holding your posture with relaxed strength, and allowing your words to emerge from a place of calm focus. You will find others begin to listen more and trust grows naturally. Make this practice part of every interaction. Next, we reveal how mastering your breath directly shapes your presence. So stay engaged, share your thoughts below, and help build our Stoic community. Lesson 3. Regulating breath, regulating presence. A ship lost amid swirling mists finds its way not by the fevered beating of the oars, but by the quiet rhythm of the tide. Your breath, much like that steady tide, is the invisible current guiding you through all storms. Subtle, powerful, shaping everything beneath and around you, even while it goes unnoticed by the untrained soul. To master yourself, you must learn to master your breath. For every true captain knows, when turmoil rises, the one who navigates the breath remains unshaken, charting a steady course no matter how confused the sky. Every one of us has stood on that trembling edge, a slope of frustration before a crucial conversation, or standing in the burning spotlight before it is your turn to speak. Your mind scatters in a dozen panic directions. Your heartbeat stirs rapid and hot in your chest. Your mouth feels dry, trembling hands giving away all that you'd prefer to keep hidden. Others might seek composure, but inside you are a storm-tossed vessel, wishing for a way to anchor or at least slow the onslaught. These moments expose how fragile our sense of calm can be, even with the best intentions or strongest willpower. The cycle repeats on busy days. An unanswered message, a traffic jam, a difficult colleague, and somehow you are breathing high and fast, not realizing how each shallow exhale leaks away your sense of central power. The true problem lies in a misunderstanding of what emotional control should look like. Many hope for a mind purely armored, or for some secret inner switch that, once flipped, forever locks them in a state of perfect serenity. But the body tells a different tale, a story written in breath. Too often, we try to reason or push our way into composure using thought alone, while beneath, the old wheels of shallow, unconscious breathing roll on unchecked. In tense moments, your breath quickens or stiffens without bidding. When anxious, it stalls or becomes a thin wire stretching through your chest. Here's the core and the hope. You can never separate your presence from your breath. The world's great archers, before loosing an arrow, first regulate the breath, letting all the wild energy of mind and muscle channel itself in that pause, in that single, controlled inhale and exhale. The same is true for those who wish for stoic impact and invincible composure. The transformative solution is the ancient yet ever-fresh art of conscious breathing, a power available to you in every moment, regardless of background or situation. It doesn't rely on outside resources or any outward show. It begins wherever you are. To train your mind in presence, begin simply noticing the breath. Let your awareness settle on the coolness as you inhale, the gentle warmth as you exhale, your chest or belly rising and falling like a calm tide. Whenever life feels too sharp, busy, or scattered, make your breath your first anchor. With practice, you will discover profound benefits: a mind less susceptible to panic, emotions that slow enough to be chosen rather than compelled, and an aura that others sense as grounded, powerful, and utterly confident. Let us imagine this, not as work, but as coming home to the oldest wisdom of your body. Each time you consciously slow down, you draw back from the disorienting noise and reclaim leadership over your own inner landscape. Like a ship's captain tracing narrow channels through murky waters, you make it possible to move carefully and with intention, instead of being dashed against rocks of rage or drowned in pools of regret. Slowly, this becomes your new habit, enriching every interaction. Others around you may not see the root of your change, but the effect is real. Calm, curiosity, and trust deepen in every conversation. Obstacles feel less like mountains and more like manageable hills. You transform panic into purpose, fear into focus, through nothing but reclaiming the gift of your breath. This is not denial of difficulty, but rather the ultimate self-discipline, to return again and again to the presence that grows each time you breathe with awareness and resolve. The path is simple, the reward immense. A truer power humming beneath the surface, waiting patiently for you to take hold. In any tense moment, pause and breathe in slowly, exhale gently, and let your mind settle before you act or speak. This small act restores power and calm, transforming pressure into clarity and confidence. Give this practice a real chance today. Next, discover how staying neutral in chaos disarms negativity. Join our growing community and share your feedback below. Lesson 4. Neutral energy disarms all chaos. Picture a single stone in the center of a rapidly flowing stream. Water rushes by, churning and tumbling, yet the stone remains unmoved, dividing the current with quiet, dignified presence. It does not fight the torrent, nor does it get swept away. Instead, it simply is, forming the calm heart at the center of chaos. In life, we often face moments that feel exactly like that river. Arguments erupt around us. Unexpected disappointments surge forward. Criticism and tension swirl through the room. The impulsive part of us wants to push back against the tide or to flee before it overwhelms. Yet the greatest power and the quietest confidence lies not in conquering the current or yielding to it, but in developing a steady, neutral energy that diffuses conflict and transforms everything it touches. Most of us have felt the sting and chaos of being caught up in emotional storms. Imagine a heated family dinner. Misunderstandings sharp in the air, voices rising, defenses mounting in a battle no one can seem to win. Or consider heated exchanges at work, where your pulse quickens and the mind races, crying out to be right or desperate to be heard, frustration burning just behind your eyes. Even quiet environments are not always safe havens. Sometimes your mind is loud even when the room is silent, replaying old wounds or getting tangled in imagined slights and comparisons. In these moments, it seems almost impossible not to react, as if emotion itself is an unruly wildfire demanding your participation, urging you to add fuel with your own anger, blame, or panic. Yet again and again, this pattern delivers more exhaustion and regret than it does relief or understanding. Maybe you have noticed it yourself. Each time you are pulled into escalating tension, you feel emptier, less yourself, and farther from the self-mastery you desire. You leave the argument or tense situation replaying what you could have said differently or wishing you'd stayed silent instead. The core problem isn't emotion itself. Emotion is a natural response to the reality of being human. The challenge lies in the way we meet chaotic situations. Do we react automatically and get swept up? Or do we choose a different path, one that creates calm rather than magnifying conflict? The transformative solution is the cultivation of neutral energy in your presence. Think of it as the stance of a wise archer who looses neither an arrow of anger nor a dart of defensive speech, but instead pauses, breathes, and chooses to neither engage nor inflame. Neutral energy is not a withdrawal or passivity. Rather, it is an intentional act of holding your interior space steady, neither feeding the chaos nor fighting it. When you ground yourself in neutrality, you become like the stone in the stream, anchoring the whole atmosphere, sending a wordless invitation for others to also settle and see more clearly. Instead of responding to antagonism with more antagonism, imagine yourself absorbing the impact and letting it fall away, unmoved and free. This practice unlocks a profound kind of freedom. By disciplining yourself to notice your emotional reactions without acting on them, you resist being led by whatever drama or negativity might arise. You save your energy for true priorities and become less vulnerable to emotional hijacking, less reactive to the turbulence others may bring. Over time, people sense your calm and presence and may even soften their own responses in the presence of your grounded, silent force. There is a mysterious magnetic quality to someone who will not be drawn into conflict, who holds the space without judgment, anger, or withdrawal, a presence that radiates silent, stoic strength. In every environment, these individuals rise above fleeting chaos, for they know that true influence comes not from controlling others, but from so completely mastering themselves that others, consciously or not, begin to emulate their example. This is an ancient, living wisdom, a skill that cannot be faked and can be practiced by anyone, anywhere, in even the smallest moments of daily turmoil. When tension rises, pause and simply observe. Notice your breath, listen carefully, and choose to respond with calm neutrality. This single shift will diffuse negativity and restore your sense of control, allowing peace to follow wherever you go. Begin practicing today. In our next lesson, see how a quiet mind can truly command the atmosphere. Share your insights and let the journey inspire others. Lesson 5. Quiet mind, commanding atmosphere. At dawn, when a mountain first emerges through the morning mist, the world seems to move more gently, bathed in a profound hush. That silent presence frames the land, making everything feel possible, inevitable, and somehow at peace. Imagine carrying that kind of quiet strength into every room you enter, an atmosphere so deeply calm that it invites the world to settle around you, as if you yourself are the steady ground that others can rely on. This is the power of a quiet mind, an invisible yet unmistakable influence that shapes reality without uttering a word or forcing a movement. Yet in the lives we lead, the mind is seldom quiet. Most people carry within them a storm of worries, to-do lists, doubts, and judgments. The race of thoughts pounds like unrelenting rain. There is the inner voice second-guessing every decision at work, the restless expectations that follow us from emails to dinner tables, the habit of overanalyzing conversations or fearing we have missed some critical cue. Moments meant for sharing turn brittle with self-consciousness. Soon we are so caught in our own noise that we barely notice anything around us, except that confusing sense of exhaustion and overwhelm. Everyone wants to come across as confident and influential, to make an impact that draws respect and trust. But many times the noise inside drowns out both inner and outer harmony. Perhaps you felt it. A meeting where your words land awkwardly. A conversation that slips away unfinished as you lose yourself in second thoughts. Or a social gathering where, despite best intentions, your mind pulls you into anxious spirals. This mindstorm doesn't just stay locked inside. It ripples outward in small gestures, in distracted eyes, in impatience that quickly flares. People sense the unsettled energy and unconsciously respond in kind. The atmosphere grows tense, fragmenting connection. It's tempting to blame circumstances or imagine others more naturally confident. But what truly separates those who influence a room from those who fade into the background is often this: a disciplined, quiet mind that radiates a calming force and attracts hearts as surely as a lodestar in the night. The way forward, then, is found in the timeless practice of stilling the mind. This is not about suppressing thoughts or forcing yourself into numb detachment. Rather, it is the art of observing the mind's activity without jumping to follow or resist. Imagine the seasoned archer taking aim, not distracted by every gust of wind, but letting them pass while his focus stays one with the target. The mind, given space and gentle discipline, will naturally settle, just as a pond eventually smooths after a pebble is cast. As you train yourself to witness rather than react to your own racing thoughts, a powerful space opens up within you. Into that space flows confidence, tranquility, and true self-mastery. Your energy becomes attractive, not because of loud opinions or dramatics, but because your presence feels anchored, like the mountain's silent strength after the world's clamor. Conversations deepen, misunderstandings soften as others unconsciously gravitate toward your calm. This mindset does not eliminate life's turbulence, but it means that the rough waves of thought no longer dictate your presence. Instead, you become the one who shapes the mood, anchors the group, and turns scattered moments into opportunities for genuine connection. Through the simple yet transformative work of quieting your mind, you unlock the power to create a commanding atmosphere anywhere and at any time. This is a discipline both ancient echoed by sages and monks across centuries, and new, refreshed every time you pause, breathe, and choose not to follow the mind's every noisy demand. When anxiety rises, pause and consciously detach from your thoughts. Notice them without reacting and return to slow, steady breathing. Each mindful pause strengthens your inner command and calms your environment. Start today, letting your quiet mind speak louder than noise. In the next lesson, discover how inner peace reflects true power. Share your reflections below and help our calm community grow. Lesson 6. Inner peace reflects outer power. In the darkest hour before dawn, there are mountains that wear a blanket of undisturbed white snow. Their silence is not emptiness. It's the sign of strength drawn from within, a majestic calm that outlasts every storm. The same is true for those rare people whose inner stillness projects such quiet authority that others instinctively lean closer, trusting the depth behind their words. There is a magnetic pull to one whose composure runs so deep that outward events, no matter how turbulent, have little power to disturb that inner core. This is the essence of true power, and it begins not with dominance or force, but through the gentle cultivation of peace within yourself. Most of us know the battle that rages beneath the surface. You might appear poised and successful in your outer world, and yet inside, waves of doubt, anxiety, or frustration can rise up at the smallest provocation. How often have you replayed an awkward conversation late into the night, or felt the echo of past failures vibrating long after the world has moved on? Perhaps you radiate tension without meaning to. Your posture stiff during conflict, your smile a little too tightly drawn, your voice just slightly edged with irritation or insecurity. There is a tug of war between the calm image we hope to show and the agitation we quietly carry inside. In these moments, true peace seems far away, a distant shore that recedes just when we need it most. This conflict is not only natural, it's nearly universal. Yet for many, the struggle doesn't lead to peace, but rather to exhaustion and self-doubt. The more you fight for outward control, the more fragile it can seem. The harder you push yourself to overcome your mind's unrest, the more inescapable those feelings can feel. You may find yourself envying those who seem naturally unbothered, or who handle upsets without a visible ripple. There's a subtle and painful belief that peace is either a gift for the chosen few, or a distant reward waiting at the end of some finished struggle. But what if the source of that composure is not rooted in lucky temperament or special status, but in a conscious, practiced decision to return to one's own peaceful center again and again? Here, the transformative solution emerges. Embracing inner peace not as a fleeting state or rare victory, but as a skill that can be cultivated, like tending the fire in a hidden hearth. Inner peace begins with acceptance, acknowledging that turbulence and doubt arise, but choosing not to feed them with your energy or attention. Picture yourself as a silent archer drawing the bow. The world outside swirls, distractions fly like errant birds, but your focus rests on the present moment, on the alignment of breath, intention, and posture. Each day, as thoughts surge or emotions threaten to overflow, intentionally remind yourself that the greatest strength is in responding, not reacting. Meet life as the ship's captain does, not by silencing the wind or waves, but by steering confidently through them, rooted in the unshakable knowledge of your own direction. With regular practice, this perspective returns your power. You find yourself less thrown off course by annoyances or setbacks. Disappointment or criticism land but do not stick. Their impact slides away, leaving the core of your resolve shining brighter for having been tested. People sense this rare steadiness in you. Instead of aggressive force or brittle defensiveness, your presence radiates something far more compelling, a certainty that comes from having mastered your own reactions. This is what draws others to respect, trust, and even seek your guidance. The world recognizes in your calm the sign of quiet leadership. Over time, you come to see challenges as opportunities to deepen that inner peace, to water the roots that anchor you, even as storms pass overhead. In nurturing the discipline of peace, you become utterly undefeatable, not because you have no storms within, but because you have learned again and again to calmly weather them. Whenever you notice tension or doubt, Pause, take a deep breath, and remind yourself that lasting peace comes from within. Practice this repeatedly until it becomes second nature. You'll soon find reassurance, resilience, and attraction replacing anxiety. Begin today. Next time you'll learn how a strong presence can quiet the world's noise. Share your thoughts and help our community thrive. Lesson 7. Presence that silences the noise. A lighthouse stands alone on a rocky shore, its silent, steady glow piercing the whirling winds and crashing waves. It does not shout for attention, nor does it flinch as storms roar in the darkness. It simply remains, a beacon of certainty and calm, guiding ships safely even in wildest turmoil. This is not just the story of a lighthouse, but the ideal of a human presence that can silence the constant noise of the world, drawing others in with the powerful quiet of unwavering attention. There is a strength in someone whose mere presence hushes anxieties and dissolves distractions, offering a safe harbor to everyone drawn near. So many of us, however, wake each day to a world of relentless signals. Messages, voices, constant notifications, the ceaseless clamor of opinions, judgments, and demands. Often, our own minds echo this noise, making it difficult to feel centered for even a moment. It's a familiar battle. Heart racing at a new email, focus lost amid crosstalk in meetings, conversations clouded by self-doubt and second-guessing. Even in private moments, it can feel as though our attention has been hijacked, torn between urgent tasks and invisible worries. In these conditions, maintaining focus, calm, and authority seems nearly impossible. It is easy to feel anonymous in the crowd, drowned out by the noise, and quietly desperate for a sense of order or command. At the root of this challenge is the universal desire to matter, to make an impact, to be unshakable and heard. Yet the more we strain to be noticed in chaos, the more our energy blends into it. Attempts to dominate or outshout the world are only met by greater resistance. Efforts to become invisible leave us feeling powerless and unseen. Neither reaction supplies the connection or clarity we crave. When people do find themselves able to silence the external and internal commotion, even for a moment, the difference is transformative. Suddenly, the atmosphere becomes clearer, open, and receptive. A single calm individual can set an entire room at ease simply by being fully present. The solution lies in cultivating a presence so anchored and attentive that it naturally filters out the background noise, inviting others to slow down and truly connect. It starts with learning the distinctive skill of deep, non-reactive attention, giving complete focus to the present moment and those you are with, no matter how messy or frantic the environment. Imagine the silent archer aligning every part of himself to his target, or a captain attuned to shifting winds yet unmoved by their noise, so absorbed in the task, so settled in purpose, that the world's distractions begin to fade to the edges. By practicing this skill, you channel the ancient wisdom of Stoic composure. Instead of identifying with every racing thought or string of distractions, you ground yourself in simple, intentional acts of presence, steady eye contact, centered breathing, and a welcoming openness, whatever the circumstance. Each time you resist the urge to check your phone, rush your words, or let your attention scatter, you reclaim territory from the chaos. Over time, your presence develops a magnetic calm. Your confidence resonates at a level everyone recognizes, but few can articulate. This is the kind of energy that does more than merely calm your mind. It draws out the best in those around you. Coworkers settle in your presence, conversations slow and deepen. Even adversaries hesitate before raising their volume. People sense something solid, something trustworthy in the way you are here and nowhere else. The benefits go even deeper. Distractions lose their grip, anxiety eases, and you discover a new, empowering pleasure in simply being present, moment to moment. This discipline makes you undeniably attractive, not through noise and intensity, but by unlocking the silent, stoic authority that naturally commands attention. In every environment, you shift from being tossed by the waves to setting the tone, quiet as the lighthouse, radiant as the fire that burns within and does not burn out. In every interaction, practice being fully present. Focus on the other person, maintain calm eye contact, and let distractions pass without pulling your attention away. you'll sense clarity and connection growing, while anxiety fades. Give yourself this gift every day and watch your atmosphere transform. Embrace this journey as your own silent strength grows and radiates outward. As you've discovered, true Stoic power is built through calm presence, emotional control, and silent mastery of the mind. Thank you for joining this journey toward deeper strength and self-mastery. If this resonated with you, please like, comment, and subscribe for more empowering wisdom and practical guidance on your Stoic path.